Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, Lenette Looks. Today I'm going to be talking about a movie that I saw called Suspicion. It is by Alfred Hitchcock and starring Cary Grant and Joan Fontaine. I watched it on Blu-ray. Here's Cary Grant and Joan Fontaine there. He looks super mysterious, right? It goes along with the title, Suspicion, because there's so much suspicion about who Johnny, played by Cary Grant, is. So let's get into it. Cary Grant plays Johnny, and by the way, this is a psychological thriller. It keeps you on your toes, guessing the whole time. You are wondering about Johnny. You are wondering, I'm jumping a little bit forward, but just in relation to the title, it's just so good. It is so good. So Johnny, played by Cary Grant, and Lena is the character played by Joan Fontaine. And Lena, it comes from a wealthy family, and she meets Johnny, who wants to talk to her, flirting with her and everything, and she rejects him at first attempt of him flirting with her. But then she gives in, and against her father's and her better judgment, against her father's will and her better judgment, she marries Johnny, not really knowing in depth who Johnny is. He seems like a charming, very obviously handsome, smooth talking guy, but she kind of like doesn't really see that there's anything else to Johnny. She wants to marry him, and it's very fast. Her dad is totally against it. They don't really know who Johnny is entirely. She just runs off and marries him. So Lena is shy, and an English woman, super shy, and here comes Johnny, this cool, suave type of guy who is very, very charming. So they get married, go off to their honeymoon, and little by little, Lena starts to discover things about Johnny that were not revealed because she just jumped and got married like so quickly. Things are starting to get revealed about Johnny, and they are just red flags on top of red flags on top of red flags. What are those red flags? Well, they start popping up little by little as they come back from their honeymoon, where Johnny, she realizes he lies. She catches him in lies. He loves to gamble. She eventually finds out he can't hold down a job, or doesn't want to hold down a job. And he is obsessed with money. And Lena comes from a very wealthy family. So she starts to realize little by little, like, what the heck did I get myself into? Johnny is not the guy that she thought he was. So she starts to suspect his actions. She starts to suspect whether he's telling the truth or not, because she just catches him in his lies. But Lena, with him being so charming and everything, she doesn't call for a divorce or anything, saying like, look, I thought you were this type of person. His true colors afterwards starts coming out, and she starts to suspect that Johnny he can't be trusted. So Johnny just can't be trusted in her mind. Like, hey, didn't you say this? I thought this was going on, but you were really at the gambling place, trying to get money again. He lies, he cheats, he steals to get money. And this is now her husband. Hitchcock is very great at keeping the audience guessing. Like, you keep guessing, like, is Johnny just this guy who's innocent and just being misunderstood? Or is he really this treacherous con artist? He winds up saying certain things that you think, he's not really that bad, or is he that bad? And he starts you know, it's a balancing act in both, on both levels. Like, can you trust him or can't you trust him? Is it all in her mind? Is she just like thinking too much about this, or is Johnny really totally bad? It's a slow burn nightmare, which Hitchcock was very good at telling these kind of stories where, you know, you think one thing in the beginning, like, oh, everything is good, you know, and then it becomes this nightmare, and it's like romance turned into fear, because little by little Johnny is making her feel like his actions, she keeps catching him in certain things, and she's like thinking in her mind like, this guy is, you know, a lunatic that I married. But she doesn't want to say anything because now she's afraid of him, because he lies, he cheats, he steals, and since she's rich, she thinks he wants her money. So now it's like she's walking on eggshells around Johnny. She's like so suspicious about his whereabouts whenever he's on the phone, like what he's saying, what he's doing. She's thinking that he is out to get her. Also, Johnny supposedly, you know, Johnny was working a job, but he failed to tell her that he got fired from that job and no longer is working there, and he just keeps gambling despite the fact that he promises to quit, despite the fact that he tells her that it's, you know, he's gonna stop, he's gonna get better, he's not gonna lie, cheat, and steal anymore. And little by little he does other things that are just egregious, like selling her furniture that were given to her by her father, very expensive antique chairs, and he doesn't even tell her. But in order for him to pay off his debt, because now he's like totally overwhelmed with debt from his gambling, and he has to get out of it. Lena tells him, you know, you have to handle this, like you're drowning in debt now, you lost your job, which he didn't even tell her he had lost his job, and he's lying to her. She's thinking like he's going to work, and because he's lying to her, and he's not like making himself a honest man at all. He's still behind her back gambling, cheating, and stealing. Now Johnny has this business venture. He has to leave for Paris to do this business dealing, and she doesn't hear from Johnny for a bit, and later on comes to find that his best friend died. And now Johnny, you know, the police are asking questions like what happened to the friends, and they had this business dealing together where they both were supposed to split money on that business dealing. So automatically Lena is thinking, is my husband so obsessed with making money, so obsessed with gambling and having to pay off his debt? Did he go to that extent and kill his friend? Because she could not get in contact with him, she could not get a hold of him when he was in Paris, and all of a sudden she finds out that he was murdered. His friend was murdered, and now she's thinking, could my husband have killed him? Could my husband have gone that far? Because she doesn't trust him. He has this weird stare, these weird ways about him now that cause her to be even more suspicious. The way he looks, the way he's looking at her, his secret phone calls. And because she's rich and comes from a wealthy family, she's thinking, oh my God, you know, I'm next. Like, he's out to kill me. Like, I'm next to get killed. And so she still does not leave this man. Like, she's still with him, but she is like just tiptoeing around in her house thinking like she's with a killer now. Like, now he's out to get her. So what would you do if you were Lena? Like, his charm turned into danger. His suave looks and actions just turned into a dangerous situation where she is fearing for her life. So what would you do if you were Lena? Would you continue to kind of like play the role of his wife, meanwhile like just suspecting that your husband is a killer and out to get you? Would you still stay there? Because she feels like she doesn't know what to do, but she wants to like not get murdered by her husband. So you're like jumping back and forth with Lena, like, oh my God, is he the murderer? Is he not the murderer? Because even in her mind, she's thinking that she's just going crazy. And she doesn't know for sure if he is a killer or not, or is it all just in her head? Cary Grant plays the perfect gentleman until he isn't. Every smile hides a lie. Every gesture feels off. Is he dangerous, or is it all just in her head? You have to watch it and you have to decide for yourself. And you will, well, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but the ending, you'll just have to see, because I feel like you're still on the edge of wondering if he did it or not, if he is that vile and vicious. Now, I do have to spoil one part that is like one of my favorite parts in this movie, because it's suspenseful. It is, I was like, don't do it to Lena. Like, she could hear me through the TV. But Johnny, to calm her nerves, because she's really nervous, like at this point, like she's nervous around him, she's very jumpy, and it's time for them to go to bed, and she's like trying to make up make up a lie or whatever, so she doesn't have to like sleep with this guy. So she tells him, oh, I don't feel well, I have a headache or whatever. And then he says, why don't I bring you a glass of warm milk before you go to bed? So she says, okay, that's fine. And as he's creaking up the stairs and everything, and you see him coming in with the glass of milk, and you're just thinking, and she's thinking too, like, he's gonna freaking kill me with this glass of milk. He put poison in there or something. And she doesn't want like him to suspect that. She's still feeling nervous with the glass of milk. She doesn't want to drink it in front of him. And I'm like, don't drink this milk. You have to watch to see if she drinks the milk or not. You're like wondering, oh my God, after what she does, what's gonna happen? But that was like very suspenseful. So that was very alarming, because you just feel what she's feeling. You sense what she's sensing, like she's afraid that he's gonna like murder her, and now he's bringing the weapon, which is a glass of milk, waiting for her to like drink it so he can finally get her like insurance, her life insurance, and inherit her family fortune. So anyway, it is very suspenseful. Cary Grant, he's wonderful. He's so good at playing this charming guy. He was so good at being mysterious and dangerous at the same time as being charming. And he really charmed his way into her life. And he got to still continue to do all the things he was doing despite her opposition to how he lived his life, gambling and lying to get money and being a cheater. And it's like, oh shoot, like, oh my God, I married this guy, and now like he's become this totally different person, and I'm in the marriage, I want to get out. Like, she's like, but I think he's gonna kill me. Like, that's a freaking nightmare. that is totally a nightmare. Okay, so I picked this movie because Halloween is upon us, and this is a good thriller. This is a very good thriller. And forget about ghosts and goblins and monsters. The real horror is the charm that kills, because it's so much in undercover and in disguise that little by little becomes this bigger thing, where it is the monster. His charm is the monster. His way of being is dangerous, and he, you know, we suspect with Lena that he is this monster that's able to kill. So this is my Halloween pick. Yes, I'm saying it's a Halloween pick, for all the reasons I just mentioned. So if you have not watched Suspicion, I really encourage you to watch it. This is a 5-star movie for me. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. A love and hate relationship with Cary Grant, and in the end, you, like, at least me, I just was feeling for her, like, oh my god, like. And also, she is very naive, so the naivete allowed her to get into this circumstance with him. She was bored with her life. She didn't have much to do, and then here comes Johnny, this charming guy, and just, you know, charmed his way into her life. And then how does she get out of this? Or does she get out? You're gonna have to watch this movie. It is 5 out of 5 stars. Again, another wonderful classic Hollywood film starring my favorite guy, Cary Grant, and Joan Fontaine. By the way, Joan Fontaine won the Academy Award for Best Actress in this film. So that's another reason to watch this. And that was the only Hitchcock film where somebody won an Oscar. So that tells you a lot. You know, she won for Best Actress, and that holds a lot of weight there. As always, thanks for watching Lenette Looks. And if you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It really does support me in making more videos, and I hope to see you real soon. And on that note, I will see you on the next one.